You to pull that door shut, please. Thank you. So I'll call the September 19th meeting of the Community Redevelopment Agency to order. Good evening, everybody. Welcome. So has everybody had an opportunity to review the August 15th meeting minutes? And if so, is there a motion?
Move to approve.
Second.
Any discussion or corrections to the minutes? Okay, all those in favor signify with aye.
Aye.
Opposed? No nays. Minutes are adopted. We have a resolution approving the fiscal year 2024 Temple Terrace Redevelopment Agency annual budget, and our finance director, Jim Ingram, is here to explain. Good evening, Jim.
Good evening, Chairman Ross and Temple Terrace Redevelopment Agency board members.
Thanks for the reminder, because I'll get that wrong.
The Temple Terrace Redevelopment Agency exists as a dependent special district operating under the restrictions of Chapter 163, Part 2 of the Florida statutes. The estimated revenue to be received by the TTRA, that's the Temple Terrace Redevelopment Agency, during the fiscal year beginning October 1st, 2023, and ending September 30th, 2024, from all sources equals the total of appropriations for expenditures and reserves in the budget during said period. It is estimated the city will receive a total of $1,394,728. In keeping with best practices and the requirements of Florida law, the Temple Terrace Redevelopment Agency budget is posted as part of the city's proposed fiscal year 24 proposed budget document. The content of the budget reflects the policy direction provided by the City Council in its tentative budget for fiscal year 2023-2024. The following revenues totaling $1,394,728 are contained in this budget. $649,846 from Hillsborough County per 2023 incremental taxable value at the fiscal year 24 proposed millage of 5.7309. And this is the individual agency's millage. So that's Hillsborough County's millage, proposed millage. $8,732 from the Tampa Port Authority per the 2023 incremental taxable value at fiscal year 24 proposed millage of 0.0770. $731,954 from the City of Temple Terrace per 2023 incremental taxable value at fiscal year proposed millage of 6.455. And $4,196 of interest earned from the pooled equity cash in the TIF fund. Revenues are now exceeding the required annual loan payments for CRA property. This budget includes the following expenditures of the $1,394,728 matching revenue. $958,590 for scheduled principal and interest payments to Center State Bank for the CRA loan. $50,000 for the demolition of the old Curry Bowl restaurant in the CRA area. $35,000 to update survey data of multiple city-owned riverside parcels in the area of 205 South River Hills Drive, contingent upon board approval. And $351,138 of contingency for reserves. Budget adjustments may be made by the board during the fiscal year to spend reserves. Any unspent amount at the end of the fiscal year, September 30th, 2024, will be appropriated pursuant to the next annual budget adopted by the board in compliance with Florida Statute 189.016. It is recommended that the Temple Terrace Redevelopment Agency Board adopt the fiscal year 24 Community Redevelopment Area Budget. And I will stand for any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Ingram. Is there any public comment on this? If not, board members' questions.
Yes.
Board Member Fernandez.
So I just have a question about the debt. And can you, I know we've talked about this, but I feel like now's a good time to bring it up again. Can you tell me when this debt is expected to be paid off?
Sure, I believe it's 2038, but I happen to have a copy of the full budget here with me. And let me just double check that. Yes, it is 2038. And the balance going into, we're getting ready to pay, we always pay the loan at the end of the fiscal year, so we will have a payment going for principal next week. After that, the balance will be $11,207,000.
Does this loan have any kind of prepayment penalty?
Nope,
So if we wanted to pay with some of this contingency money, we could pay ahead if we wanted to.
yes.
Okay, so the tax revenue, obviously, we don't anticipate it going down because we're hoping to develop and add properties to it. So we don't expect that this budget will ever have a shortfall with regard to the loan.
That is correct.
Okay, so this contingency would be available essentially for each year because we're anticipating that we would have this income or something similar to it because of the development that's happened. We can use this contingency fund money that we're putting, the $351,000 this year, but maybe in the future we could put this towards debt if we wanted, or we could use this in any kind of development on properties that the city owns. Is that correct?
In the CRA area.
Yeah.
Yes, correct.
Okay, that's it.
Council, board members, any other questions? Very good. So, Mr. Ingham, along those lines, we're not here to make this decision tonight, but we could take a portion of those reserves and offset a portion of the capital improvements to this property that we have planned with this pedestrian master plan and the parks that we're looking to enhance. We could, I mean, that's what this money
That
is
is
for,
correct.
is for use in the, right? So we could do that. And the outstanding debt is down to the one loan, and that's like a 2% loan, isn't it?
That's right, 2.75%.
Right, so
fixed.
that's pretty good debt to be carrying right now, so.
Sorry, I do have one question.
Sure.
I forgot, when does TIF sunset?
20, wait, let me see if I have that.
2034?
I thought it was 35, 34, 35.
time frame, yeah.
So 2035?
34, 35,
Yeah.
somewhere in there, I think.
Okay, thank you.
Well,
So I think it is 2035. Sorry, I don't have that in my notes.
That's okay. Close enough. It's not
that
tomorrow.
sounds right to,
No.
Mr. Pauly says that's about right too, so. Okay, board members. Okey-dokey, is there a motion to approve the budget?
Move to approve, excuse me, move to approve the 2024 budget as presented by Finance Director.
A second.
Motion and a second. Discussion on the motion. All those in favor signify with aye. Aye. Opposed? No nays? All right, Mr. Ingram, the resolution is approved. The budget is adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Community outreach meeting follow-up. Our city manager or executive director, Mr. Baez. I knew I wouldn't make it through the whole thing. Executive Director Carlos Bahia will provide an update.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, members of the board. So at one of the recent city council meetings, Kimley Horn, our consultant for the pedestrian master plan for the CRA, made a presentation as to where they were with that particular project. And in that discussion, we talked about the fact that there's still one opportunity for them to make a public meeting regarding this, actually in the public setting somewhere. And Mr. Pauly and myself, we had a meeting with the representatives from the firm, and they actually had a great suggestion. They talked about the success that they've had as a company doing sort of pop-up, they call them pop-up events, pop-up charrettes or workshops, where they're actually on property. They literally put up a tent, pop up a tent. Sometimes they'll have a food truck, et cetera, to get the public to come out and engage with the public, where the public can actually physically see some of the improvements and where they would go. So the suggestion was made for us to consider doing one of these events at the city property just south of Starbucks, that empty lot that we've been trying to develop. It's a great location. They would do it either in an evening, a weekday evening after work, or on a Saturday morning, for example. I've spoken actually with, just coincidentally, with Council Member Abel, and she had mentioned that BPAC is looking perhaps to do some sort of event, and maybe we could actually combine the two. I think the synergy would be great. We'd have the consultant try and find a food truck or something else to attract families and whatnot, and make it an event and accomplish getting that public input as well. So that's a suggestion we bring to you this evening. If you like where that's going, all we need is basically a nod, and we'll move forward and get everything taken care of. Or if you have an alternative that you want us to pursue, please let us know.
So at that meeting, although we certainly welcome to be there, it's a public meeting, but we're not the focus of that. Kimley Horn's the one gathering the feedback, right?
Correct. They would have boards up, maps, things like that typically is what they would do, and the public would come in, give their input. They collect input in different ways in different settings, so we could work with them to figure out what would be the best for this particular community and location.
Board members,
I like it.
you like it? You like it? You like it? You like it?
Yes.
It sounds good to me.
Okay. We'll make it happen and let you know, obviously, when we schedule it.
Okay, good time of year probably coming up to do that too. It's a little cooler than summer months might be bad, so.
Yep, absolutely.
If you, just a suggestion, if you get a date and a time established, when we're doing Temple Terrace Reads and the fire department open house, that might be a good place to have it advertised.
Sure.
That's coming up pretty quick.
It is,
though.
that's why I'm
That's gonna be a
saying-
little tight.
2-3 weeks.
That's gonna be a little tight.
But I'm just saying if.
We'll
it-
try.
if-
Yeah, we'll try to make it happen so we can get a date and then try and get the word out to as many people as we can. And that would be a great idea if we could time it that way.
yeah. I mean, there's a lot of people there and a lot of
Right.
families and things, so.
There's some logistical things we need to talk about too when we get down to that though, how we're gonna make that all work with parking and direction and
Yep.
make sure the property's ready to look its best and,
Absolutely, yeah, we'll need to do some cleanup because I've noticed that people walk their dogs there, so.
yeah. So there's things we need to talk about, just details.
Right, exactly, yep.
Okay, so we're good, board? Okay, anything else?
No, sir.
Mr. Ingram, Mr. Pauly, anything else? Very good. Well,
We got two. Enigma's fence, Mr. Polly. Have you, I know you see it all the time. Are they doing much? Enigma and their fence. The fence looks like a war zone driving by there.
Yes, sir. So what's going on right now with Enigma is we've got a stop work order on that property because they built a wall out. Y'all will be seeing a site plan for that wall coming in, and we got it a couple weeks ago. So it's going through DRC right now, or will be soon. We'll bring it to you. The wall's on their property. We thought it was over the right of way, but y'all have to approve the modification to the site plan. It's a construction site. I guess we can try and get them to clean it up some, you know.
The filters, the barriers, they're all torn and tattered. It just looks like a war zone down there.
Okay.
I've had some people comment that it looks terrible, and it does.
Well, we can reach out to Mr. Singh and talk to him about his fencing, see if he can get that up. Probably be good for security purposes for him as well, because they've had problems with folks taking things off the site.
Yeah,
So, yes, sir, we'll reach out tomorrow to Mr. Singh.
okay, thank you, appreciate it, thanks. I'm good.
Board members? Anything else? Okay, our next CRA meeting will be November the 21st. You want to mark your calendars now? And if there's no other business to come before us, we will be adjourned.